Welcome to Impact Through Wonder, how art and design give nature a voice. So we are the last session before lunch, but don't miss it because it's really worth it. And we're absolutely thrilled to be part of DLD Nature, this amazing conference dealing with the biggest challenges we are facing. And like other challenges, climate change, energy transition, healthcare, mobility, and many more, all these challenges are far too complex to be solved alone. Innovation and solutions, they need co-creation, collaboration between startups, between established companies, scientists, politicians, artists, and citizens. And just like the DLD conference, the Munich Urban Colab bring all these players together under one roof. Unternehmertum and the city of Munich provide a unique platform for the development and testing of new ideas and solutions for a livable city and a livable future. My name is Sabine Hansky. I'm a director at the Munich Urban Colab, and together with Sarah Dorkenwald, the curator of the session. It was a pleasure working with you, Sarah.
Likewise, it was a pleasure working with you, collaborating with you and Munich Urban Colab, and also making this joint contribution today at DLD Nature. I'm a designer and curator, and I work as a co-creation manager for HM University at Hochschule München. So how do we unlearn the learned in order to open up for new perspectives, and how do we create new knowledge together? These are questions, among others, HM University investigates, and in order to redesign the field of transfer knowledge, and also in order to bring together a wider variety of actors and their specific perspectives, because above all, we believe that positive change can only be enabled together. And that's why we are really excited to be here today at DLD and have this great exchange.
We received so many insights yesterday and today, and everyone agreed without biodiversity we cannot exist. At the same time, and this is good news, we know what to do. With relatively few measures, biodiversity could even increase again. We heard it also in the last panel. But why do we not take action sufficiently? And how can art contribute to a new understanding of nature? We will explore these questions in our session, together with wonderful guests, and Steffi, you also already introduced her. It's a great honor for me and for us to welcome Professor Katrin Böhning-Gaese. She is a biologist, and Steffi mentioned it, one of the most renowned scientists focusing on biodiversity and the importance of nature for mankind, author, and since September, the scientific director of the Helmholtz Center for Environmental Research. Wonderful to have you with us, Katrin.
Thank you.
Ursula von der Leyen said it's not too late. And this is also your message. So what does it take? Do we have to change our lifestyle, our behavior? What can we do that biodiversity could even increase again?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to this most exciting event here. And I'm happy to share basically good news out of science, in that we have in science, in biodiversity research, in the meantime, the same kind of global models that the climate community has. And we can use these models to figure out what needs to be done to bend the curve and to increase biodiversity again. And overall, it's three relatively simple measures. One is protected areas plus restoration, and we've just heard a whole panel on this. Second is sustainable but productive agriculture. And the third is, and maybe this hurts a little bit, we need to change our way we consume and what we eat. Less food waste and a lower meat consumption. And together with these simple measures, we would be able to bend the curve.
Okay, so science provides us with all this knowledge, but what does it take to take action?
Yeah, I'm working in this field now for more than 30 years, and it's a little bit frustrating how slow things are picking up. But, I mean, on the other hand, it's clear it is huge transitions that we need to do, and they cover all fields of society, from economy to the civil society to the government, and so on and so forth. And it needs a complete change of mind, that we basically take nature as an asset or a wealth and not as something that is a very cheap resource. And for this, we really need to change our way we are thinking, and that's actually a very deep way of change that we need to perform. And we really need to listen to other species more. We need to think economy in a different way. We need to think about governance in a different way, and that is, to be honest, not easily achieved. It needs many players, and they are brought about here together, and one of the important players is the arts.
We will talk about this later, but Johan Rockström, he talked about the double crisis and that we're on the path to disaster. So is this something, so anxiety, does anxiety motivate people?
Yeah, that's my own personal criticism on the idea of the planetary boundaries. And although I really like the work of Johan Rockström very much, it has some dark sides. I mean, we are having in his theory these tipping points, and once we are beyond it, by definition, it's almost impossible to get back. And we have already passed 6 of these 9 planetary boundaries, and the question is, what now? How do we get back? And the interesting thing is about biodiversity, there seems to be no tipping points. It's a linear relationship, which means that you can also increase biodiversity again. And in the other panel, we have seen wonderful examples that in just a generation, we can restore tropical rainforests. And nature is a way of healing the whole Earth system, so there's actually feasible ways back to a better system.
This is good news, and I think we need more positive scenarios, positive future scenarios. And Eckhard von Hirschhausen, he mentioned yesterday the significance of new narratives, meaningful images and sounds, and art and design can exactly do that, create stories, sound. They enable us to take another perspective, and they touch us, and thus trigger reflections on our behavior.
So, Katrin Böhning-Gaese, you just mentioned we need a different thinking. We've heard it over and over at this conference. So the way we think is actually the way we act. And if we want to gain a deeper understanding of the planet we live in order to make things differently, we need perspectives beyond humans. And so how can we immerse into the world of animals and plants and even maybe microbes and give these non-human beings a voice? And therefore, we have today invited 2 wonderful artists. Lena Thiele, she's artistic director at the Miiqo studio, and also Tom Kortbeek, he is a designer and co-founder of Filip Studios, and they will share with us their fantastic projects Myriad, Where We Connect, and Arabidopsis Symphony. And the 2 projects actually invite us to see the world from either the perspective of migrating animals or the inner life of growing plants. And they have the ability to take us in a world we haven't seen before. So it's really great to have you on stage, Lena, and afterwards Tom, to introduce these projects. Please welcome Lena Thiele.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much for having me. I would like to take you on a very small journey right before lunchtime to introduce our project. You see, yeah, it already started. Is it working? No. No. Back. Back, back, back. So I'm telling if it's not working, I will do it freestyle. So as we slowly transition from summer to autumn, perhaps a bit faster than usual this year, there's a subtle change happening. The soundscape around is very slowly shifting. So bird songs that were filling the day and the night from May to around end of July, they are silencing, and they're giving room for new voices. For example, up in the north, where I spend most of my time, you hear the birds migrating to their winter destinations. So the living system around us is constantly changing, and there are amazing journeys happening all around us, mostly unnoticed, because I don't know who of you actually do know that. Take, for example, the nightingale. She weighs only 20 grams, but this little bird flies almost alone at night from Germany up to the southern Sahara, covering around 5,500 kilometers. Or think about millions of dragonflies who travel from southern India to Mozambique, and they're accompanied by thousands of emu falcons. So there are amazing journeys happening all around us, and the world is constantly changing. And billions of animals migrate each year just to breed and to feed. They cross wide oceans and high mountains. And it is an interdependently connected system of life. But what do those stories tell us about the living system that we are all part of, and about our interspecies relationship? That is actually the foundation for the project Myriad, where we connect. And now I hope it works. Yeah. Now here we go. Myriad is a project about animal migration. And it's designed to raise awareness about the essential interdependence of our more than human life on our planet Earth and the relationship that we have to other species. It tells the story from the perspective of migrating animals in an ever-changing world, a world that is inhabited by many, but as we heard more than often, increasingly shaped by us, humans. And it is a poetic narrative and a sensual experience that we created. And this whole at the intersection of art, science, and storytelling. And the whole project involves a 360-degree 3D documentary, a TV documentary, a 32 minutes VR experience, and an immersive installation that I will dive deeper after lunch. And to, of course, in our creative process, to also reflect on the interdependence of all life on Earth, we also wanted to integrate it in our artistic language. So we played a lot around with charcoal, and we came up with the material of carbon as artistic language. Carbon, the element of all life, of things that fall apart and that reconnects again. So what we do, and we strongly believe in this, we are transforming scientific research into sensual experience through an artistic approach, because we really believe that the stories we tell and the way how we tell it do shape the perception of the world, and the ability, and that is important for us, also to imagine and create different futures. And we also believe that by engaging different senses and the imagination of our audience, that we can amplify the voices of nature and inspire new perspectives. And was also so important to question the status quo of our current interspecies relationship. And I hope I see some of you after lunch to dive a little bit deeper into the project. So, and I will end with a little short teaser of our installation. Thank you very much. So, take this.
Good afternoon. My name is Kortbeek. I'm co-founder of a Dutch design studio called Filip Studios. And during the deep dive after lunch, I'm going to tell you all about our project Arabidopsis Symphony. Arabidopsis Symphony is a collaboration that we did with the Wageningen University, a Dutch agricultural university, who collaborated with plant physiologists to make sure to use gene and hormone expressions of a specific plant, the Arabidopsis thaliana, to let them compose music. And we turned this project into an augmented reality experience. It's a field of virtual plants on a specific physical location. So you have to travel somewhere, and there you can see this field of virtual plants growing. And every day when they grow, they will compose a bit of music. So every day when you come back, the music will sound different, and the plants will also look different. They're life-size plants, and they will invite you to explore and dive deeper into the dynamic life of a plant. The project has been shown virtually everywhere around the world, and also here in Munich last May at the Rindermarkt. But currently it's now an exhibition in Anchorage in Alaska, which is the largest city of Alaska. And so for now, I wanted to take you there. So please close your eyes. I see a lot of open eyes, so please close your eyes. And imagine being in Anchorage on a clear, cold evening, looking at an Arabidopsis. How should it feel? How should the plant feel? How should the plant sound? Well, maybe it sounds like this. Okay, let's travel back to Munich, to the Urban Colab auditorium. So why, maybe you question yourself, why is this important? Why should I join the deep dive after lunch and not the other two, but this deep dive? And I will tell you, because what we're doing is not a nice to have. It is actually a need to have. Because all these people in the rooms we have something to tell. And we can tell people, and they will know in their head. But if we let them experience, then they will understand and they will care. See you after lunch.